Hi everyone, I am here to do the eye tag created by Jim's Books Reading and Stuff. I realize that we're already on the letter N and I am horribly late to the party and completely out of order, and it's not even a Tuesday, but this is what I'm going to do before I get any further behind. So yes, I liked the prompts in the eye tag, so this is what I'm starting with. So the first question is eyes for immunity and inoculation. Have you been vaccinated yet? So yes, I had my first vaccination in February. In the UK, if you work in the healthcare industry, you were given priority. So my first vaccination was back in February, and then I had my second one in April. So yeah, I'm fully vaccinated. The second question is, I is for Iago. Who's the most sinister villain in your readings and why? So if you watch my channel, you know that I don't read that too much fiction, but there's certainly a lot of villainous characters that you come across in his historical nonfiction as well. In fact, it's almost worse when you come across the deeds of actual people. Because of all of the crimes they've committed. So the first person that comes to mind is Pedro the Cruel. So Pedro the Cruel was the king of Castile, I believe, or it could have been Aragon. Apologies, I should have done my research first. But essentially, he was a very paranoid ruler who killed a lot of members in his own family, individuals close to him, and he was very jealous of his half siblings, the Trastamaras, because his father loved his mistress and his illegitimate family more than his legitimate family. So when Enrique Trastamara deposed Pedro the Cruel, there weren't a lot of people that were complaining except Pedro the Cruel, of course. He earned that title for a reason. But he crawled up to the north to see Edward the Black Prince when he was the Prince of Aquitaine, basically begging for his help. And that's when, the Black Prince's fortunes turned during his expedition into Spain, and all of his luck went downhill from there. Pedro never paid him back for the expedition, and of course, Enrique Trastamara stayed on the throne. But anyways, the third question is eyes for Italy. What is the last book you read by an Italian author? So that would be Baudolino by Umberto Eco. I enjoyed this. Again, it takes me a very long time to read fiction just because I find it more difficult to get into than nonfiction, but I enjoyed this. It takes place during the Fourth Crusade. It's about a fictional character who was raised by Frederick Barbarossa, and a lot of the book is this character, Baudolino, basically recounting parts of his life to Nicholas Choniates, who was a chronicler of the Byzantine court. There's some fantasy elements to this as well, so it's a good bag of different genres. So I enjoyed that. So the fourth question is I is for Ireland. Who's your favorite I can't pronounce things today. Who's your favorite Irish author? So I really like, one of my favorite books by an Irish author is Dracula. In fact, this is my favorite novel ever. I do like collecting various, if I see a copy of Dracula in a bookstore that I don't have, I do pick it up, which might sound excessive because I do have quite a few, but I mean, look at this. How beautiful is this? It's got silver lining rather than gold, which I think adds to the nice gothic vibe to the book. And then of course this one, you get the actual, historical accounts of Vlad Dracula, Vlad the Impaler and impaling in Wallachia. So I do like the very horrific scene on this cover here. But anyways, Probably my favorite Irish author would have to be Oscar Wilde. I really like De Profundis, The Importance of Being Earnest. He's way too witty for anyone's good, but I think he's hilarious. So the next question is eyes for ink. Do you have any tattoos, and what do you think of tattoos? So I do have tattoos, as you can clearly see. I don't have an issue with them. I think if you want tattoos, as long as they're not offensive to anyone, as in they don't, there's obviously no hate involved, then cover yourself in whatever you want. So I'll show you my tattoos. I won't show you all of them, but I'll just show you the ones that I've got on my arm. So this one here I got at this was by Cameron at Chameleon Studios in Middleton. I'll have to find the details. This is about 4 years old, maybe 5. This is inspired by a gravestone that I actually saw, so with a skull and angel wings, and I really liked his style, so I got that. And then this, I've got a bigger one here, which my husband actually drew. I told him basically what I wanted, but essentially I've got a giant skeleton on my arm. Yes, a giant skeleton, which I absolutely love. Holding an axe, that was my husband's addition, with some peonies, and I've also got a beautiful little, where is it? A beautiful little swallowtail there, if you can see it. So yeah, this was done at Sacred Art Studios in Chorlton, Cumharty in Manchester. I absolutely love the detail. The reason it's so big is because if it was any smaller, all of the very fine detail, as I aged, they would blend together. So that's why it's so massive. I did, back when I had no idea about how tattoos work or, ink on the body, I wanted it to be like a medieval wood print, but of course with all the etching, it would just blend together as I aged. So this tattoo makes me look a lot more of a, it makes me look more punk rock than I am. I'm just a very boring person, but I absolutely love all things macabre, all things skeletons. I just think it's really beautiful. And I would love to get more tattoos, but as we all know, they cost money. And I would like to buy a house at some point in the future. So for now, it's just these and some on my feet, which I won't show you. But anyways, moving on. Eyes for inspiration. What book inspired you to do something? Don't read that many books that inspire me. Don't read a lot of self-help books. Maybe probably some books in high school, like Brave New World, books that actually made me feel something other than, I really like this historical period. But I think the only thing that spurred me into action is, a healthy debate with other classmates. But yeah, anyways, I don't read that many books that inspire me to do something. So question number 7, eyes for Istanbul. Which cities would you like to see before you die? I am not a very well-traveled person, and I'm in my 30s now, and traveling was something that I always wanted to do. So I made it this far, having traveled from the US to the UK, but that's not nearly enough. There's so many places that I'd like to go. There's so many places in the Middle East, but obviously with the way things are going and many Middle Eastern countries, that probably won't be a good idea for a very long time. I used to want to, there's a Neanderthal site in Kurdistan called Shanidar. I would absolutely love the opportunity to visit and dig there if it ever does become a possibility. The site was closed down due to ISIS. I think they're operating again, but only within the past couple of years. I'd like to go to Cairo. I would love to go to Istanbul as well, Moscow, this, not to mention all of the cities in, Eastern Asia. places in South America. You know, basically, if I had a free ticket to go anywhere, I'd go there. um, but yes, the next question, I is for mini book titles. What is the last book that you read beginning with I? So that would be a Kindle read called Inheriting the Past by Chip Colwell. I can't pronounce his full name, sorry, but he wrote a biography about Arthur C. Parker, who is a half Seneca, half white um, archaeologist and one of the first professional archaeologists in the States. So it's a really good biography about him trying to um, come to terms with his indigenous identity in a field that wants to study it but doesn't respect it necessarily. So I thought that was a great book. And I think those are all the questions. So I hope you like my answers for that tag. Thanks, Jim, for keeping on with these tags, the alphabet tag. But until next time, see y'all later.